Are you sensing a change in your twin flame connection but can't quite put your finger on it? Do you feel his energy shifting, even though he hasn't spoken the words or shown it outwardly? If you're experiencing this, you're not alone. Many on the twin flame journey are encountering this quiet, almost unspoken transformation within the divine masculine. In today's video, we're diving deep into this profound awakening. We'll help you understand why he may seem distant, restless, or emotional without being able to explain why. You'll discover how his soul is awakening, not through logic or pressure, but through the quiet whispers of remembrance that are gently guiding him back to you. We will explore the subtle signs of his transformation, why this isn't just another phase, and how it signifies the beginning of his return to his truth. By the end of this video, you'll gain clarity on why you've been feeling his presence more strongly, even in his silence. You'll learn how to recognize the energy shifts that mark his awakening, allowing you to better navigate your own emotions and remain grounded through this transformative period. This understanding will empower you to hold space for his journey while honoring your own. If this resonates with your soul, stay with us until the end. Your insights could be the key to understanding your own path in this divine connection. Let's explore this beautiful journey together. Number 1. The shift, subtle yet powerful. There's a profound shift occurring within the divine masculine, one that doesn't burst forth with grand gestures or fiery passion, but rather hums softly beneath the surface. It's a transformation that doesn't need words to be felt, as the energy between you both becomes more alive and present, even in the absence of communication. This isn't the type of change marked by visible fireworks or dramatic declarations. Instead, it's an internal movement that speaks to his soul, whispering truths that he can no longer ignore. As this awakening unfolds, he starts to feel the connection in a way that transcends logic, through his body, emotions, and very being. It's not just an idea or a fleeting thought, it's a visceral awareness that leaves him unsettled, not because it feels wrong, but because it feels so undeniably real. For the first time, he senses that what he's experiencing is not just about you, but about him, about a truth that has been buried beneath layers of fear and resistance. This stage isn't about chasing or convincing him of anything. It's about holding space while he navigates this sacred unraveling, one that challenges his perceptions and forces him to look beyond the comfortable illusions he once relied on. It's not easy for him to admit that what he's been pushing away is not you, but a part of himself that was unprepared for the intensity and depth of this love. The fear that arises during this time is not rooted in doubt, but in the undeniable authenticity of what he's feeling. It's the realization that the connection isn't something he can control, dismiss, or rationalize away. Instead, it's a force that calls him to shed his defenses and confront the parts of his soul that have been longing to awaken. Your role in this stage is not to force understanding or demand clarity. Instead, it's to witness this transformation with compassion, recognizing that his awakening is not a linear process. It's a journey of self-discovery, where he learns to embrace the parts of himself that once felt too vulnerable to be seen. By allowing this transformation to unfold without pressure or expectation, you are not only honoring his process, but also strengthening the bond between you. This shift is subtle yet powerful, an awakening that doesn't need to be loud to be true. It's the quiet acceptance of his own soul's calling, a journey toward embracing love, not as an idea, but as an embodied reality. Hold space with grace, and trust that this subtle yet profound shift is leading him closer to his true self, and, inevitably, to you. Before we move on, take a moment to reflect on this powerful transformation. Have you noticed subtle changes in your connection, or felt the energy between you shifting even without words? Share your experience in the comments below, or simply type, "I trust the process," as an affirmation of your journey. Your insights may inspire others who are walking a similar path. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected with more insights and guidance. Number 2. A different awakening, driven by resonance. There is a profound shift occurring within the divine masculine, and it feels entirely different from anything experienced before. Unlike the intense rush of initial attraction that leaves one breathless, or the deep sorrow of separation that echoes through every fiber of one's being. This awakening is quieter, more introspective. It doesn't crash in like a tidal wave, but instead unfolds slowly, like a sunrise gently illuminating the soul. There's no sudden burst of realization, no overwhelming surge of emotion. Instead, it is marked by a deeper, more thoughtful energy, one that seeps into his awareness and prompts him to question everything he once took for granted. This transformation is not fueled by fear or desperation, nor is it propelled by the urgency of holding on to something fleeting. It is driven by resonance, a harmony between his inner world and the external reality that calls for alignment rather than force. It's as if his soul is finally catching up to his consciousness, whispering truths that were long buried beneath layers of ego and resistance. He starts to look at his life differently, questioning his past choices, the relationships he once valued, and the path he thought was his destiny. There is an internal conflict brewing, not one rooted in chaos, but in a sincere desire to understand his true self and purpose. The energetic shifts are subtle, but undeniably present. They manifest not as loud declarations or life-altering events, but as small, persistent signs that gently nudge him toward awareness. Dreams become more vivid, filled with symbolic messages that linger long after waking. Synchronicities appear more frequently, weaving patterns that hint at deeper connections and guiding him toward a path of self-discovery. It's as though the universe is gently guiding him back to himself, reminding him of the truth he once knew, but somehow lost along the way. And then there's the magnetic pull, different from the fiery passion of earlier stages. It doesn't scream with intensity, but rather hums with familiarity. It's not about being consumed by longing or overwhelmed by emotion. It's about remembering. The connection feels more rooted, as if something within him has awakened to the reality that love doesn't demand or chase. Instead, it recognizes, resonates, and aligns. This awakening doesn't come with a sense of urgency. There's no rush to make sense of it all or to force the pieces together. Instead, it's about allowing the energy to flow naturally, about embracing the quiet moments and trusting the gentle unraveling of truth. The divine masculine is not racing toward enlightenment. He is stepping into it, one thoughtful realization at a time. It is a journey of remembering who he truly is and realizing that this deeper understanding does not need to be hurried or perfected. It simply needs to be felt and honored. In this stage, the most profound changes happen not through external actions, but through internal shifts. It's not about proving anything to anyone or seeking validation. It's about finding alignment with his own soul's calling. This is why it feels different. It's not a loud, dramatic transformation, but a quiet, persistent awakening. A deeper resonance that guides him back to his true self, one gentle realization at a time. Number 3, emotional recognition, a new awareness. There is a quiet, transformative shift taking place within the divine masculine, one that he may not fully comprehend just yet. He can't quite put a name to it, but he undeniably feels it, a stirring deep within that signals an emotional awakening. Unlike previous stages where logic and ego dictated his responses, this time, his soul is quietly taking the lead. It's as if his defenses are slowly dissolving, allowing his heart to guide him rather than his mind. This shift isn't loud or overwhelming. Instead, it's subtle and profound, awakening a new level of awareness that feels both unfamiliar and deeply authentic. He begins to notice how your presence lingers in his thoughts, even when he's focused on other things. Moments you shared together resurface unexpectedly, bringing with them a wave of emotions he can no longer ignore or rationalize away. It's as if his subconscious is unraveling memories, pulling them to the surface, reminding him of the connection that refuses to fade. This awareness doesn't burst forth in a dramatic revelation, but gently seeps into his consciousness, urging him to acknowledge feelings that have long been suppressed. Dreams, too, become more vivid and symbolic, blurring the lines between his waking and subconscious minds. In these dreams, he may find himself replaying conversations, reliving intimate moments, or experiencing profound feelings of longing and reconciliation. The dreams are not random. They carry messages, reflections of his inner truth, and glimpses of his soul's desire to reconnect. Upon waking, he's left with a sense of wonder and confusion, questioning why these visions feel so real and why they echo with such deep resonance. It's almost as if the universe itself is persistently nudging him to remember the truth of his bond with you. Signs appear more frequently, not just in dreams, but in everyday occurrences, songs, symbols, or words that remind him of you, surfacing just when he's convinced he's moved on. These moments are not mere coincidences. They are the universe's way of guiding him back to his heart, whispering that the connection he once resisted is far from over. This phase of emotional recognition is not about immediate clarity or understanding. Rather, it's a process of gradual realization, where the mind's rationalizations slowly give way to the soul's quiet truth. He may not yet know how to make sense of these feelings, but he knows they are real and persistent. The awakening unfolds like a slow dawn, bringing light to parts of himself that were once overshadowed by doubt and denial. It's important to remember that this stage is not about pushing or seeking answers. Instead, it's about allowing space for his soul to process and integrate these realizations at its own pace. As he navigates this new awareness, he may feel uncertain and hesitant, but that's part of the journey. The divine masculine is beginning to understand that the connection is not something to control or suppress. It's a profound part of his own evolution. In embracing this emotional recognition, he is slowly coming to terms with his own heart, allowing himself to feel rather than just think. And in doing so, he takes a step closer to authenticity, letting love guide him rather than fear. This quiet unfolding is not just a sign of change, it's the beginning of true alignment with his soul's purpose. Number 4. Reflection and silence. The sacred unfolding. There comes a point in the twin flame journey where silence becomes the most profound statement. You might notice him pulling back, retreating into his own world. At first glance, it may seem like he is running away, escaping the intensity of the connection or the emotional weight it carries. However, this withdrawal is not an act of rejection, but rather an essential process of recalibration. The divine masculine is not running from you. He is running from the parts of himself that are being dismantled, reshaped, and transformed. This phase of retreat is his way of processing something far greater than his mind can fully comprehend. When he pulls back, it is not to abandon the connection, but to make sense of the shifting energy within him. He is confronting the parts of himself that no longer align with his emerging truth. The familiar distractions that once soothed his discomfort now feel hollow and meaningless. The activities, habits, or even relationships that once defined him now seem disconnected from his evolving self. This feeling of discomfort is not something to fear or resist. Instead, it is sacred, for it signals the dissolution of the old, false self that once dominated his choices and actions. During this period of introspection, he is questioning his past decisions, examining the paths he has taken, and recognizing the patterns that have kept him in a state of avoidance. The dissatisfaction he feels is not about you or the connection. It is an internal awakening that calls him to shed the layers of his ego. As the illusions break down, his soul is preparing to emerge, freer and more authentic than before. The discomfort he experiences is, in reality, the first breath of his soul breaking through the hardened shell of past conditioning. It is important to honor this sacred unfolding, allowing him the space to integrate these profound changes without feeling pressured to explain or justify his distance. Your role during this time is to hold space with love and patience, trusting that this silence is not a step backward, but a deep, necessary pause for internal alignment. The divine masculine is slowly breaking away from his old self, allowing the true essence of his soul to shine through. It is a painful, yet beautiful process, one that paves the way for his heart to open more fully to love. While you may feel the ache of his absence, remember that this silence is not emptiness. It is the quiet rearrangement of his inner world. It is the pause between the ending of one chapter and the beginning of another, where the old paradigms dissolve and new understanding takes root. Trust that this phase is not permanent. It is a temporary cocoon where transformation is occurring. In time, he will emerge, more aligned with his soul, more capable of truly seeing and embracing the depth of your connection. Until then, remain anchored in your own truth. Allow his process to unfold without judgment or expectation. Know that this period of reflection is not a loss, but a rebirth, a sacred journey of dismantling illusions so that his true self can rise. In this space of silence, trust that love is not fading but deepening, preparing both of you for a more profound union built on authenticity and soul connection. Number 5. The magnetic pull, a sacred invitation. There is a profound moment in the twin flame journey when the divine masculine's perspective begins to shift. It's not always sudden or dramatic, but rather subtle and nuanced, like the gentle unfurling of a long-hidden truth. One of the clearest signs of his awakening is the change in how he perceives you. In the past, you may have seemed like a challenge, a force that disrupted his sense of stability or provoked emotions he was unprepared to face. You might have been seen as a mirror reflecting the parts of himself he wasn't yet willing to acknowledge. Yet now, something sacred is unfolding within him. You are no longer just a trigger or a source of inner conflict. Instead, he starts to see you differently, not as someone to run from, but as someone who brings him closer to his own truth. This realization dawns quietly, like a soft light breaking through the fog of past resistance. You become not just a presence in his life, but a guiding force, reflecting his own soul's depth and desire for growth. He may not have the words to articulate this transformation, but his energy and actions begin to tell a different story. At this stage, his respect for you deepens. He becomes more curious about your thoughts, your feelings, and your journey. The subtle glances, the way he listens more intently when you speak, and his willingness to be more present, these are all signs that his heart is awakening to the sacred connection you share. He might not openly declare his newfound understanding, but his actions reveal the shift. It may not manifest in grand, sweeping gestures of love or romantic proclamations. Instead, it unfolds in quieter, more meaningful ways, like taking time to genuinely understand your perspective or showing small acts of consideration that were once absent. This change is not about proving his worth or performing for your approval. It's an internal awakening, a gentle surrender to the realization that you are not the source of his discomfort, but the catalyst for his growth. He starts to grasp that the unease he once associated with you was never about you at all. It was about the parts of himself that needed healing, the old wounds that your presence inadvertently brought to the surface. As he navigates this new awareness, he may still be cautious, moving slowly as he integrates these revelations. Yet, the magnetic pull towards you becomes undeniable, not born from desire alone, but from a deeper soul-level recognition. It's as if his heart is calling him back to a place of truth, a place where he feels seen, accepted, and inspired to become a more authentic version of himself. Be patient during this sacred unfolding. His actions may still seem unpredictable, and his words may not always match what you sense in his energy. Yet, trust that this quiet shift is real, and it is drawing him closer to embracing the connection with an open heart. Allow him the space to explore these new feelings and continue to hold your own grounded presence. Your unwavering light is the beacon guiding him home to himself, and ultimately, to you. Remember, this journey is not linear, and his path to self-awareness may take time. Yet, each small gesture, every thoughtful action is a sacred invitation, a sign that he is moving closer to embracing the truth of your bond. Trust the process and honor his journey, just as you honor your own. In time, these subtle shifts will pave the way for deeper connection and a more authentic union. If you've made it this far, it's clear that you're deeply connected to this journey and resonate with the message. Take a moment to reflect on your own experience. Have you noticed these subtle shifts in your connection? Have you seen signs of this sacred awakening unfolding? We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories, so feel free to share them in the comments below. Or, if you're feeling the energy of this transformation, simply type, "I trust the sacred unfolding," as a powerful affirmation. Your words might just inspire someone else on their path. Number 6. Embracing the journey. Trust and surrender. Are you feeling the weight of uncertainty as the divine masculine begins his awakening? Do you find yourself questioning how to hold space without pushing or demanding progress? In today's reflection, we'll explore how to navigate this pivotal phase with grace, patience, and unwavering trust. One of the most challenging aspects of the twin flame journey for the divine feminine is learning to hold space without the urge to force an awakening. It is a delicate balance, one that requires you to stay grounded, anchored in your own truth, and free from the need to control the outcome. This process isn't about chasing or persuading him to awaken. Rather, it's about embodying the energy of acceptance and inner harmony. At this stage, the most powerful thing you can do is to focus on your own growth. Remember, his awakening is not solely about your union, it's about his journey towards inner alignment. By nurturing your own spiritual path, you naturally create a space where he feels safe enough to explore his own depths. Your stability becomes a silent invitation, allowing him to move forward, not because he feels pressured or obligated, but because your unwavering presence encourages his soul to unfold. Often, the desire to help or accelerate his transformation can feel overwhelming. You might sense his resistance or confusion and feel tempted to intervene. However, trust that his journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Trying to force his awakening can inadvertently create more distance, as it may overwhelm him or disrupt his natural process of growth. Instead, focus on radiating calmness, acceptance, and love. Your peaceful energy acts as a guiding light, offering him a sense of security and reassurance. To truly hold space means to release expectations of how and when his awakening should occur. Instead of focusing on the outcome, immerse yourself in your own healing and empowerment. Embrace your journey with a sense of wonder and gratitude, knowing that your presence alone carries a transformative energy. This unwavering commitment to your own path sends a clear, loving signal, one that he can feel even in your silence. If you ever find yourself feeling impatient or doubtful, gently remind yourself that surrender does not mean giving up on love. It means allowing love to bloom in its own time, free from the constraints of fear or urgency. Trust that your connection is guided by a higher force, and that his awakening will unfold as part of this divine orchestration. The energy between you two is not something that needs to be controlled. It is something to be nurtured through trust and presence. As you hold this space, you will notice subtle changes, perhaps a softening of his energy or moments of vulnerability that feel profound. Celebrate these shifts without clinging to them. Allow him to navigate his own emotions and realizations, knowing that your stability serves as a foundation for his courage. The more you trust and surrender, the more space you create for his growth. In essence, the journey to union is not a straight path. It's an unfolding process that requires both patience and faith. Your ability to stay rooted in your own truth while offering compassionate space allows him to explore his own awakening at a pace that feels right for him. By focusing on your inner balance, you honor the sacred dance of transformation, allowing love to evolve naturally and beautifully. What has been your experience with holding space during his awakening? Share your thoughts in the comments, or type, "I trust the process," as a powerful affirmation of your commitment to love and growth. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on the twin flame journey. Imagine a serene garden where flowers bloom effortlessly, nurtured by sunlight and gentle rain. You cannot force a flower to open its petals prematurely. Doing so would only harm its natural beauty. Instead, you cultivate the garden by tending to the soil, providing nourishment, and trusting that the flowers will bloom when ready. In the same way, holding space for the divine masculine's awakening is about creating a safe, nurturing environment without trying to force his growth. You focus on your own well-being, your own spiritual practices, and your own inner peace. Just as the flowers respond to the right conditions, he will naturally move toward alignment when he feels secure in your unwavering presence. Your calm, grounded energy serves as a silent invitation for his soul to emerge, just as a flower blossoms when it feels the warmth of the sun. Awakening is not just a fleeting moment of realization, it is a continuous, unfolding journey of transformation. The divine masculine may appear hesitant, distant, or even lost at times, but remember that his soul is undertaking the sacred work of remembering itself. This journey may feel uncertain and unpredictable, but it is through these very challenges that profound growth occurs. Your role in this process is not to push or force change, but to hold steady in your own light. You are the beacon, guiding him not by demands or expectations, but by embodying the love, patience, and alignment that you wish to experience. As you stay grounded in your truth, your energy naturally becomes the gentle invitation that encourages his soul to awaken. Trust that his transformation is happening, even when it seems quiet, and honor the sacred unfolding without attachment to the outcome. Let go of the need to see immediate results. Instead, nurture your own inner balance and allow his journey to evolve at its own divine pace. Remember that true love is not about control or urgency, but about allowing each soul to grow and rise at the rhythm of their own heartbeat. As you continue to walk your own path, know that your commitment to your own awakening is a powerful catalyst for his. If you resonate with this message, share your thoughts with us in the comments by writing, "I trust the journey of awakening." Your words may inspire others who are also navigating this transformative path. Don't forget to like and share this video to support more souls on their awakening journey. Stay connected and continue exploring the insights waiting just below the screen.